In order to get what you want out of life, you have to be willing to sacrifice. Top of it, team, Coach E, and it's time to leverage your life. Now, if you didn't know, your life is your business. And if you're not living the life you desire and deserve, it's because you are not minding your business. And if you don't know what your business is, that's probably the reason why you're not minding your business. And if that's the case, you're in the right place. Now, there's been something going on in society that we see all the time. Cat Williams talked about it. It was just recently done at the Oscars with John Cena. And I want to discuss another side of it because a lot of times we see things in society and we be like, this is all demonic and it's all that. But you got to understand in life, is two sides to everything. Just like a coin, there's a heads and a tail. Just like a street, there's one direction and another direction. Everything has two sides. So though society might be showing us the darker side of something, there's always a lighter side of it that we can actually use in our own life to help us to advance. Because we see people out here and we say they worshiping the devil, they doing all this foul stuff, but at the same time, you see them succeeding in certain places like materially. And I know that materialism ain't everything, but we all need to pay our bills. We all want to have nice things. We all want to be able to buy what we want, have what we want, and do what we want without no restrictions. We all want financial freedom and security. So when we see people out here who we deem as evil or doing the devil's work and they're succeeding in certain areas of life, it creates a level of confusion. You're like, well, what are they doing right? Because they out here doing wrong, but they're succeeding. How could they be doing wrong and succeeding? Some people justify it in the sense of the devil is rewarding them. But the devil can't reward nobody because the devil don't own shit. Everything belongs to God. So the devil can't reward anybody. It must be some kind of law or principle that they are using. See, remember, a lie is a half truth. When the devil came to Jesus in the Bible and said, if you be the son of God, turn this stone into bread, he wasn't telling them a lie. He was telling him the truth. But the fact of the matter is, Jesus was on a 40-day fast and he wasn't supposed to eat. So even though he could turn that stone into bread, he wasn't supposed to. So the devil won't use a complete and utter lie to get you to do something. He tells a half truth. So what you're seeing in society is a lot of half truths. But I want to give you the lighter side. They show you the dark side always. They show you all these humiliation rituals where you got grown men dressing as women, or you got grown men butt naked, or you got grown men participating in homosexual activity to be extorted or to be blackmailed. But you say, what's going on? What is it about? Now, I know a lot of you guys are familiar with hazing, and hazing has been a part of fraternities. Most of us are familiar with the hazing process with fraternities, where they take you through this somewhat of a humiliation ritual before you are joined into the fraternity or the sorority or the group. And a lot of times it's in movies they have them depicted doing stuff that's very humiliating. You know what I'm saying? Standing in the cold and they drawers or in the pamper, talking like a baby, running around, picking up people's trash or doing things for the other brothers that already made it into the group. And basically the gist of it is to humiliate you, but there's a deeper understanding in it. And it doesn't just happen in fraternities. When you join a gang, you don't just walk on unless you was born there and you was there before it started and you just started the gang. You have to go through a hazing. Sometimes it's a 30-second or 1 minute beatdown by several members of that gang. Sometimes you have to be sent on a mission to actually kill somebody before you could be let in the gang. But there's always a process of having to make some kind of sacrifice before you can be initiated. This is a principle of the universe. The principle is seen in the universal principle of you reap what you sow. You can't go to the ground as a farmer and expect to reap a harvest if you have not planted any seeds. So the principle that's involved is something has to be given in order for you to receive. So in order to receive warmth from a fireplace, you first have to put in wood and you first have to light that wood. You can't just walk up to the fireplace and say, give me light or give me warmth. Okay, so The process is there's always had to be something given in order for you to receive. This is a basic principle of the universe. You get what you put out, you get what you are. So there's something correct about the humiliation and the hazing and the initiation process, even though some of those processes have been done to blackball, which I don't believe is right because that's imprisoning somebody, has been done to completely degrade a man, which I don't believe that in any initiation process you should be degrading somebody. I think that the process should be more so about breaking them down, and humiliation is a form of humility, but there are certain types of humiliation that's not called for. You know what I'm saying? And there are certain types that can be called for that will help you grow, you know what I'm saying, and help you become a better person. So what we see right now going on in the industry, especially the music industry, entertainment industry, is a lot of this form of hazing. And I call it hazing because unbeknownst to us, these people are actually being initiated into something. See, there is nothing out here that exists that isn't controlled by some form of group. And the reason why is because they want to make sure they control the messages that are sent out and received, and they want to control the way things is run. And the best way to maintain power is when you're organized. So that's why you have unions. That's why you have all these different inner circles and leadership groups that control the masses of whatever the industry is. There's unions and there's groups within or organizations within the car industry. There's organizations within the clothing and fashion industry. There's organizations within the music industry. So every industry has an organization of people who are working towards one common good, and that's mainly to keep the power in the hands of these few people and pass it down from one generation to the next. In order to do that, the people that come into this industry or come into this type of work have to be hazed. They have to be initiated. Now, that's what happens in the world we live in. But I want to take it to the lighter side, the spiritual side. And I want to say that as a human being, when you were born, you were initiated. And in this initiation, when you discover your purpose, you will go through a hazing process. Now, some people might think, nah, what you mean? I ain't got to go through nothing when I decide that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, or when I decide I want to do this with my life or that. I just do it. But you're wrong. There's going to be a process of breaking you down. There's going to be a process of humiliation. There's going to be a hazing. Why? Because in order to find out for yourself if you really want something, you have to be broken down to a point to where you're faced with the decision, that fork in the road, to where, man, is it worth it or isn't it? Do I want to keep going or do I want to give up? If you give up, it's okay. It just means that that wasn't meant for you. But if you keep going, that means that it was meant for you. And you can only come to that conclusion if you're put to the test. But if you're not put to the test, we don't know really what you want. If everything in your life is just easy and everything works perfectly, we never know what you can really become and really what you want and how passionate you are about it. There's a song by New Edition that says, "Sunny days, everybody love them, but tell me, baby, can you stand the rain?" Basically, what they were saying was, in a relationship, when things is good, everybody happy. When you got money, everybody nice. But let's see how you are when you broke. Let's see how you are when the sun ain't shining, when the clouds is covering the sun and it's raining for days on end and you don't know when it's going to stop. How long can you endure? How long can you persist? Will you keep that same motivation? Will you still be inspired? So life will haze you. Life will haze you because you're going through an initiation process to accomplish your purpose. And everything in life must be initiated. Everything in life must be hazed. Everything in life must be humiliated. Why? Because we have to sacrifice our egos to rise up and become whatever it is we are to be. The hazing process is somewhat of an ego killer. If you look at it, the things that you have to do in a humiliation ritual is really a blow to your ego. If you look at the music industry, if you this manly man, but they make you dress up as a woman, that's a blow to your ego. Now, I don't understand why they want to do things like that. That's their industry. That's how they get down. And if you agree to do that, that's on you. But you know what you're seeing is hazing. You're seeing somebody being initiated and they're going through the process of initiation. Well, God's not like that. God don't want to see you in a dress. God don't want to bend you over. God don't want to put you in no compromising positions to compromise your sexuality. But what the universe will do is put you in a position to see if you really want what you're asking for. Because put it like this, everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to drive a supercar. Everybody want to wear luxury timepieces. If you ask somebody if they want to live in a mansion or they want to live in a hood, of course they want to live in a mansion. But wanting something is one thing. What are you willing to sacrifice to get it is another. And a lot of you want things, but you don't accomplish them because you're not willing to sacrifice what it takes to sacrifice to get it. When you see these movie industry stars and music industry stars doing these rituals, it's because they're showing they're willing to sacrifice to obtain whatever it is they want from their superiors. That's on the dark side of things. On the light side of things, the universe want to see what you're willing to sacrifice. And no, the universe don't want you to sacrifice your son, contrary to popular belief, like you've seen in the story of Abraham putting his son Isaac on the altar. That's not what that meant, but I'll let you figure that out on another time. God would not ask you to sacrifice your son. He would not ask you to sacrifice your mother, your father, your wife. He would not ask you to kill anybody. The universe wants you to sacrifice yourself and yourself only. And how do you sacrifice yourself? Not killing yourself, not humiliating yourself in a degrading way that questions or makes your sexuality questionable. The universe wants you to sacrifice your time, your energy, to discipline yourself, to say, I'm going to give up going out. I'm going to give up the things I like to do for fun. I'm going to stack my bread. I'm going to stay in the house when I can go out with my friends. I'm going to study when I could be chasing women. I'm going to do all these things that's going to elevate me instead of doing the things that I can do but are not beneficial towards my purpose. That's the real sacrifice that you have to make in order to be initiated into your purpose. And that's what happens on the light side of things. What we've seen in the music industry is the dark side, and everything has a light and a dark side. But even on both sides, the same principles remain. In order to get what you want out of life, you have to be willing to sacrifice.